we're doing something special this episode to all the listeners. What we're doing is we're kind of sharing one topic and we're all investigating different areas in it. Mm-hmm. So the broad encompassing theme is, what is a sober mind? When people use the term sober, they generally mean not doing something that's addicting, like alcohol or drugs. But I want to investigate all the other things outside of that are much smaller that affect people's mindset. I'll start off. I'll be getting into physical factors, parts of the environment that can influence mental state.
I'd like to know about that. I mean, all right, I'll just wait. I'll be patient. Tell me more.
Well, if you're anything like me, and I've lived my whole life outdoors, I'm ready for the city life. So when you move into the city, it's a big change, concrete jungle. You got no green spaces around you. Would you guys wager that influences your mental state?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you get that kind of a sneaking claustrophobia.
Yeah. Have you guys experienced that before yourselves?
Yeah. At the church.
At the church?
Yeah. The church. Here is good because we have a backyard, but at the church, one thing we noticed is that like it was an apartment, so our door opened to a hallway. There's an ambulance, speaking of the devil. But
I heard that.
Yeah, and then that hallway opened to a door that led onto one of the busiest streets of the area, and there was no green space. There's a Walgreens next to us, another apartment complex next to us. So, yeah, we were definitely missing the.
There's actually a really fresh garden, like down the street from your place.
A fresh garden.
I don't know if it was I don't know if it was a public or a private. It looked public.
Oh, it's the caged in one where you have to park.
Grant Street, yeah.
Yeah, that's a private one. You have to pay to like use it.
Oh, it smells nice though.
It does.
I can't imagine what it'd be like living in New York for years, because you don't even see trees over there if you're not going to Central Park. But the effects it has mentally on you are enormous. Even looking at scenes of nature, not like being in nature, but looking out the window and seeing green, it reduces anger, fear, and stress, and increases pleasant feelings. And it also affects you emotionally and contributes to physical well-being. So blood pressure gets lowered, heart rate, muscle tension, and production of stress hormones, which is huge considering you're just looking at like a silly little shrub.
Yeah, how does your body know that?
Well, I'm not sure.
Probably
It's very subliminal.
Yeah. What do you call
Do
that?
you think that
Central cortex.
Jay? What's that show that you and I were obsessed with?
The Mentalist?
Teletubbies?
No, not the Mentalist. The futuristic show.
Oh, Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
That's such a nerdy name. What is that?
I remember a scene in that. Actually, it was the opening scene where this guy's like looking out the window, but the window's showing him a perfectly beautiful scene of something else. Mm-hmm. And I think they could also do this in the Smart Home Disney Channel movie, where the walls could be whatever scene that you wanted them to be.
You could do it at home right now. Just put a picture of pretty scenery up on your TV.
Yeah, but like it was different, you know?
More realistic.
It was portrayed in a way that you couldn't, as the viewer, couldn't tell from the character's first person view if they were looking at something that was real or not.
There's like a depth
Obviously
perception
looking at a
aspect
TV.
to it.
Anywho.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't differentiate from like an obviously fake to realistic experience.
You should get an Oculus.
The way your teeth overhung your lips when you said that looked so funny. That was spot on. Actually, I already have the newest Oculus.
If you only have the first gen Oculus, you're already a generation behind. All right, Cheek, go on.
No, I'm done.
All right. But you're asking basically like what happens if your mind is tricked into it?
Like, do you think it's realistic, or do you think it would be helpful if that technology actually existed in everybody's apartments that live in a cityscape like that from
I
day
definitely
to
think
day,
it would help. I
You
think
think
it'd
so?
be beneficial. I mean, there's certain things you don't get from an artificial thing, like having a plant in your room generates more oxygen, which an image couldn't do. But I think
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, that'd be clutch.
Well, there's like an aspect of heat from the sun, smell from the outdoors that maybe you could simulate. Like the light that comes out of LEDs that we currently have isn't the same thing as the light you see.
The photons from the sun,
Photons.
the electrons from grounding yourself in nature, Cheek.
Yeah.
I don't make fun of earthing or grounding. I am a full believer in grounding.
I am too. You convinced me.
Can you give us that one more time, Cheek?
I think that maybe I'll do that grounding as a legend has it segment.
Yeah, whatever we call those.
I think like to really dive into it and understand it, it would take like a solid 15 minutes of explanation that we don't need to do right now.
What the gist is that you need to reconnect with the earth and recharge. Like you're an iPhone 12 and you need to be placed onto your wireless charger.
Nailed it.
I just ruined your segment, Cheek. All right, E, next one.
I had to take that shirt off my head. It was killing me.
How did that happen? Well, I didn't realize it, but it seems like everyone got a show at some point.
All right, on to the next one.
Next one.
We talked about this in the past episode.
right.
Another physical factor. We talked about clutter when we were